YouTube, what's happening? It's your man Chris and your man
Ronin Shogun, Ninja Assassin. What's
What
up,
up,
bro?
y'all? What's good, bro?
Chilling, man.
So today we are here to do the spoiler review for the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yes, the Disney Plus original, man. 6-episode series. The series is ran by Malcolm Spellman, creator, showrunner, and writer, and Kari Skogland is the director. They got us in with the 6-episode political action drama. 6 months after the blip, all the events in Avengers Endgame, we're here, and the setting is the Flag Smashers are basically taking over, trying to get the society back to where it originally was because they believe the world is better without superheroes unless they're in charge, running the show, basically.
All right, so
Yeah.
this is how we're gonna do this. We're gonna do our likes, we're gonna do our dislikes,
Cool.
and then we're gonna just take it from there. See what we think could happen next.
All right, cool.
All right, so
What should we start with?
let's start with the likes,
Okay.
right?
All right.
So
Handle.
me personally, my like is the opening, right?
Yeah.
I love that opening because we finally got to see Sam just go ham, right?
True.
He because you've never seen Sam just be that dude,
Right.
right? Because he was support. So he was always like fighting at distance or something or other.
Right,
but
right.
to see him in the air
Yeah.
and to see why he was so special, that was tight, right? Because
Those military
Yeah.
pararescue skills that we always heard about.
yeah,
the
we
stories.
always heard about, but we never got to see Sam just be that dude. And from jump, he was there. You're like, okay, I can see why he was hanging with Cap,
Yeah.
right?
It's something about the soldier likes and soldier mentality and just being in service.
Yeah.
You could have been in like different parts of the history, but soldiers just bond. I guess that's just the kind of thing that happens.
Yeah, and plus, and for that, now I'm really loving that they modernize his origin, and he's a little different from comic Sam.
Yeah.
Because this Sam, I'm be honest, bro, this show made me like Sam. Like
Wow.
before this show, I thought he was cool, but I thought he was a waste. Like
Interesting.
not as much of a waste as Hawkeye,
Right.
but I thought it was they were kind of wasting him.
Okay.
But this show made me like Sam and made me look forward to seeing what he's doing, what he could do going forward.
Okay. You got any more likes?
Next like is once again the opening, and this was the Winter Soldier opening.
Okay.
Like, because me personally, Captain America Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU movie. To me, it's the best one.
Nice.
So I loved seeing the return of the Winter Soldier, and just seeing that power and that fear that he commanded, and like he was just going ham. Like there was nothing that could stop him. They saw him coming. They could do nothing about it, and it was just to me. It felt like I had been holding my breath for this scene for a while, and I hadn't known it. Like, because after the Winter Soldier, it felt like Bucky started meaning less and less.
Yeah.
Right? And this it reminded you of who this dude is and what his potential is and why you should be afraid of this dude snapping.
They gave him that push again. I got you. Yeah.
What about you?
I'm gonna say my positives for the show was the epic opening, just seeing Falcon in action. The government still has ties with him to some degree, and they also gave a little history on the Falcon. We got to see him as a family man too, and not just as a soldier. He was front and center, and he was leading, like you said. I agree with him being a support. I liked him all the way from his introduction into the MCU back in 2014, and here this was a stepping moment where they got to evolve his story arc because of all the events that we've seen him in. We've heard stories about him. We got to see him struggle with real life social issues, which I also commend Marvel for doing. I was not expecting that, and they really went there.
Yeah.
It was pretty frightening at times, but also rewarding.
Yeah.
Like thank you for doing it, acknowledging, because you think like superheroes, eye candy, good versus evil, but it's like, what are we doing when there's no villains around, when there's no Infinity Stones? Like, we're dealing with real world crisis and problems.
Yeah, I like that. It helped flesh them out as characters.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Like, because with a movie, you don't have time for a lot of character work.
Right.
So But with a TV show, it allows us a bit more leeway, and you can add nuance to characters, and you can show their history, or you can help flesh them out more.
Yeah, definitely, and that's another positive. This was 6 episodes, and they felt like 6 movies. They were hour long each, and we learned something about each and individual every character. Even though it was Falcon and Winter Soldier, you got progression on everybody that was introduced. Like everybody got their time in each episode, and it's amazing what they were able to tackle in 45 minutes. Even I'm not even gonna say good and bad guys because it's basically a gray area.
Yeah.
It's like it's about what you believe and what's the morality.
Yeah.
Do you get behind what they're doing? Do you disagree with what they're doing? Because there really was no right or wrong. It was just consequences, and then politics in the middle of it. So it was a gray area.
Yeah,
I like that too because
they're
it made you question.
They tried to set it up where there really wasn't any bad guy,
Right.
right? So each side was doing something that the other side saw as wrong.
Yeah.
So that was cool. But like you said, I also like the social commentary that they did. I like some of it.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, if you're going to set up a black Captain America, I'm glad that they did it to where he didn't necessarily want it. Like it was something that he was hesitant about.
Okay.
Because of the history
Yeah.
that black people have in this setup. Like he's from the South. He knows, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that there was this hesitance, like cool. I'm glad. I appreciate your support, but this feels like somebody else's.
Yeah. It was a mantle taken on. He didn't want that burden.
Yeah.
I also like the reflection of giving me that same energy and that same style as Civil War and The Winter Soldier. This felt like a protege of those movies, and I like that we got more ground-based storytelling of MCU because I like the political spy side of Marvel, and I like the ground-based narratives and stuff like the cosmic and all the other stuff's cool, but I like this stuff because I feel like we don't get enough of it. But it looks like this new phase is diving back into that since we're going back to the past to rediscover things. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier did so good in the writing department. It opened a lot of doors for future projects in the upcoming phases. And it was also so good that I actually want a second season of this.
Yeah.
It really left me wanting more. And I'm glad they did that because sometimes a show can come in and it can start off great and then it starts wearing out its welcome and then it gets stale. And then you're like, should have ended. But 6 episodes, super fast paced. It ended, started off with a bang, ended with a bang. Damn, I want more.
Yeah.
Even the ending was hot.
Because with 6 episodes, you have to go immediately into the meat.
Yeah.
You have no time for fluff, and you can't waste time.
Yeah.
So it's a good look for me. If Marvel keeps up with the 6-episode series, I'm all for it.
Okay.
Now, another like for me, Isaiah Bradley.
Okay.
Like, I loved.
We doing favorite characters? All right, for sure. Yeah.
Things that we like.
Okay.
I love that they introduced him simply because of what it opens up as far as the lore of the MCU. Right.
Shout out to the actor playing him too, Carl Lumbly. Amazing choice.
Yes.
Go ahead, bro.
Like because it opens the door. It says, because it's stuff we know, but it says the government never gave up on super soldiers,
right.
even immediately after Cap went into the ice, right?
Right.
Because this was an old man, right? But his story, it wasn't too different from the comic story. So if you don't know it, check it out. But I love that they introduced him, and his comic origin wasn't changed because it told me something. It is setting up the table for something else, and that is the Weapon Plus program.
Okay.
I love it.
So if you guys are not familiar on Isaiah Bradley's story, check out the comic series from 2003, Red, White, and Blue. It's an amazing arc. Check it out, and you can get a little bit more information on that.
Yeah, because that's if you want to get it up, check out the comic or just watch Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. They cut you right up. Like one episode, you'll learn whatever it is you need to know about him.
Yeah.
And I got some stuff to say on that too, but I'm gonna save it for the. And I guess I'll do my favorite character too, because there's a couple. I really like U.S. Agent Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell.
Yes.
Stole the show for me, and there's a lot of controversy behind this character, and I really love that because it got to the point where people really believe that this person was real, and that people think that he's really a replacement, and then you got people who are like, he didn't do nothing wrong, and I love this diverse and this dialect amongst fans because it gets really to the mid and gritty because it's like, all right, well, what is he about? And I figured it out because there's confusion.
Mm-hmm.
We were not soldiers, so we don't understand what he had to do and that he was trained to do it. And I was one of the people that defended him for the simple fact that this was an actual man that had skills and could have died and earned his stars and stripes, and saw that there were superpowered beings and metahumans in here that could take him out, and he felt belittled after that when he got bested. So he decided to, I need to enhance and juice myself because he didn't feel like a soldier up until that point. But before that, he was like, man, I put in all this work for this country, and they're just gonna cast me out. And then, I got the pressure of living up to Steve Rogers, who was part of a program that made him perfect. But he did this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So he came into a never losing fight.
Well, my thing is with him is
I love the struggles.
I think initially he went out and he expected certain things just from being Captain America, not realizing that it's not just a mental. Like,
right.
Cap is not just a symbol.
Right.
Like, this is why Steve Rogers is Captain America, because everything that is special about Captain America comes from Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's why they was like, yo, I loved it when Bucky was like, yo, just because you got the shield don't make you Cap.
Right.
Right. So because Bucky was the one who was like, he told Steve, Cap, he's the one who made it, who came out and said, you that dude now. Like, yeah.
He said something that kind of stuck with me. He was like, well, if he didn't believe in you, then that means I failed as a friend. Like, he didn't believe in me.
If he was wrong about you, then he could have been wrong about me.
Yeah.
And like, I love that Bucky was going through that existential crisis.
Yeah.
Right. Because movies, you didn't get to see that. But
right.
It like, he was in one fight and into the next. But
because he was still dealing with all the missions that he had done in the past, and it was getting to him. We never really got to see that. We saw him struggling because they kept wiping him after every mission. Like, they kept wiping him, and it was the first time you got to see that Sebastian Stan, Bucky Barnes, was free for the first time.
Yeah, and you got to see him, because like, even he said it. He was like, the only little piece I've had was the brief time I got to spend in Wakanda, and then it was right back into the fight.
And that goes into my other positives. Thanks for bringing that up. Good segue. So when he went to Wakanda, he got to spend time there. When he came back to America, like, you officially an honorary black man now. He got to experience firsthand what it was like to be us when they left Isaiah Bradley's house. I love them little small moments. Like, he saw the racism and stuff, but he didn't really fully understand it because in his time it was blunt and straightforward.
Yeah.
Here it was like, no, this guy's not doing anything. We're having a conversation. Do you know who this is? So he's all about presentation and character and what people do with their actions. So when all that was going on, he was standing up for Sam.
Yeah, and that's the thing I like about Bucky and Steve is these are guys from the past that have been basically transplanted into the present. Right, so the world that they're operating in now ain't the one that they used to. So, like, the things that were blatant and obvious when they were around aren't there anymore. Just like the nobility that Steve possessed and Bucky to an extent, right?
Definitely.
The things that they did, the virtues that they upheld, aren't here anymore.
Right.
You feel me? So it's like
things getting lost within the historic context. I get you.
But I love that. I love that Bucky came to that realization. He was like, me and Steve, you know what? We just didn't see it. We had no idea just how tough it was. And we didn't even think about that when we had the conversation.
All right, cool. I guess we can get into our negatives, the bad, if you will. I have a few, and I'm gonna let you go first while I
All
think
right.
about some extra ones. What you got, man?
The Flag Smashers.
Okay.
Um, Not necessarily that they were bad.
Yeah.
It's just that I felt like the execution of them was mishandled. Um, they were freedom fighters, right?
Right.
But somewhere along the way, they went from being freedom fighters that you could be sympathetic towards
Right.
to okay, we want to make them villains now, and it felt jarring to me. Like now, I understand it, but I understand that they needed villains, and they needed an action set towards the end. But I felt like it could have been handled a little better. Um, Carly Mont, I forget her last name,
Yeah, you can say Carly.
but
We know who you're
Carly,
talking about. Yeah.
I liked her.
I
Right?
did too.
I liked her. Now, for those of you who don't know, Flag Smasher, Carly was actually changed from the comic stuff. But I will accept this change because I like the way it was handled.
Yeah.
Like this actress was the way that she played that role from the very beginning. I was into her.
I really
Like,
thought she brought something to the table too.
when she was first when she was first introduced, and you see her in the back of the truck, and she has this scared innocence about her, and then it just changes. I was like, dang, like,
Okay.
because because at first you think like you think that she's a hostage or she's being transported, not realizing exactly that she's a trap. Like,
Gotcha. So is that your probably your
yeah,
negatives and stuff?
That's one of my negatives.
Okay.
I felt like they leaned a little too heavily into race at certain points.
Okay.
Mind you, it's definitely something that should have been mentioned, but and that the conversation needed to be had. But I felt like at times it was too much. It was just too in your face.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because not too in your face, but I felt like I felt like it was weighing other things down a little bit.
Okay.
So because we can have this conversation. We have to have this conversation, right?
Yeah.
But we don't have to keep hammering it in.
Right.
Like because when you start hammering stuff in, that's when people start trying to ignore it and look away.
We've seen that's happening on social media.
Right?
It is kind of divided.
So when you do it too much, people don't want it anymore, and they're not open to the conversation. So like I felt like it was a little heavy-handed, but it overall I think it was cool. But yeah, that's one of my dislikes. It was too heavy. It was heavy-handed in their usage of it.
Okay. That's good. That's all you got?
Yeah, what you got?
All right. So negatives for me, I will say that the series is pretty short. I would have liked at least 10 episodes as far as that goes, because I felt like it ended and it ended well, but I felt like there was more to be told. I felt like it hadn't been ended yet due to the closure with specific characters.
Yeah.
Because if we talk about Falcon and Bucky, their story arc is complete as of now and moving forward. But I wanted to see closure from the other supporting cast members as characters, because again, I was lured into everybody else. And I'm talking about the family, people on the on the Hydra side. I wanted to know more about them and what their closure was moving forward, because the seeds that was planted in the show opened the doors for other phases, and it left eyes open and ears interested. So I thought that was a big negative for me. I wanted closure from other supporting characters, and we only got closure from the main two.
Yeah.
And I will also say I'm a little disappointed that Battlestar was killed, because I liked Lamar Jenkins, and I thought that there was going to be plans for him later on down the line. He could still come back. This is the MCU, but as of right now, he's dead.
Yeah.
And that made me feel some kind of way, because he was kind of like the Bucky and U.S. Agent's corner. He was that protege. He was the voice of reason, and he was the morality that kept U.S. Agent in check. And now that you've taken him away, you pushed this man over the edge. Granted, it was good storytelling. It was a great twist. But I wish he was there to keep U.S. Agent at bay, to understand that, hey, I know what you're capable of, and I understand that you're doing the best that you can do, and that you are the best of the best, and you're being the best that you can be. Sometimes your partner or camaraderie partner needs to tell you that to keep you in check when America won't.
Yeah.
So it almost kind of made him look like a bad guy by default. But Battlestar was the voice of reason, and I felt like if he was gonna die, it should have been in the finale. It happened too quick.
Contrarily, I actually like that they killed him.
Okay.
And I like that they killed him that way. And it's for the exact same reason you said. He was the voice of reason, right?
Yeah.
So, because we know the super soldier serum has effects. Like Dr. Erskine said this to Steve. It can make a good man great, and it can make a bad man terrible.
Right.
Right?
We saw
so
that.
we see that, and we see the transformation that Carly goes through after taking the serum. Right? Because like they go from stealing medicine to help people to killing people, and just like I don't care. Like this is the language that they understand. Let's kill them. Right? And so you can see that transformation that the serum had on her. So to see that with him, it's like, okay, because he took the serum, right? And because he was getting outclassed,
right?
Which of course he was. You're going up against people with experience. You're a new booty, so of course you're going to get outclassed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
He came in kind of arrogant, thinking Captain America was just something that could be handed out and that you was gonna get some leeway with it, and you ain't. They gonna treat you worse.
Right.
So Battlestar was holding him back. Like I like that. I like that they did it, because you have not only the serum working against him, but now you have him working off emotion.
Okay. Yeah.
This was his best friend.
No, I get you.
Like you ain't just gonna get away with that.
Right.
And I like the fact that and you could see that he was so zeroed in on getting vengeance that even though he was there, so he knows this ain't the dude who did it. Right. And dude was pleading for his life, like, yo, I didn't do it. And he was just so far gone that he didn't hear nothing.
Okay.
And he brought it down. So I like that.
That's cool, man. I respect that. I just wish we got a little bit more on that. And then another thing that I didn't like, and I'm a big fan of Sharon Carter.
Oh.
I liked her introduction coming in, and I see what they were doing with her. And it's like now we're at a point, because I kind of predicted it as I was watching it, on my own personal time watching it. I kind of suspected that she was the power broker.
Yeah, it was too obvious.
And it was like, now that you have all this intel, it's great because you can help out your so-called Avengers camaraderies. But now it's like, I don't trust you, and we've been on this journey. Once you came in, you were on our side. Now I feel kind of like manipulated. It's like, now I understand why you didn't want to come back when Falcon offered you that deal.
Well,
so it's like now she can do whatever and get away with whatever.
Well, yeah, because you also got to take it from her perspective. They left her out to dry.
That's true.
That's
why I'm not as mad, but I'm like, I felt like we should have got that information later on down the line. And this is why I wanted more episodes.
Yeah.
Because now I feel like I'm put in a position that, well, maybe I'm supposed to hate her. And I don't want to, because I love Sharon Carter. And the thing about that is that when we are introduced to her, there were other members out there that brought the team together that was trying to get her to be head over heels for Steve Rogers and help him out when needed. So it's like, when you bring somebody in and there's a connection like that, you don't expect them to turn like that.
Well,
and I felt like the turn was too soon. You know what I mean? 6 episodes in, and like, dang, you doing this?
It's 6 episodes, but you got to remember, it's been 5 years for her.
True.
Right? So, and then what I like about this, about it is, when you're first introduced to Sharon Carter, she's Agent 13.
Yeah, I love that. See,
right?
That was good stuff.
She's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
And she specializes in undercover work.
That's true.
Right? So, who's to say that she's not playing a long game now?
That's a good point.
I like that that you don't know whose side that she's on, because it reminds me of it kind of reminds me of Black Widow, where like you don't necessarily know if she's on your team or she's not, and that's that S.H.I.E.L.D. training that she's taking advantage of.
Right.
So like she's like, yo, you left
That's a
me,
good point
yeah,
though.
you left me out to dry. Like I did this for you guys. You left me out to dry. Nobody had my back, and here I am. I'm gonna have to work with what I got. And she did that. Plus, you never know because, like I said, she's an undercover. She's an undercover specialist.
Right.
So she could be the power broker, but she could be using it for something else.
As a cover.
Who's to say?
Job,
yeah. Who's to say that within that 5 years that she was gone? Because remember, she was working for the CIA.
Yeah.
So who's to say that they didn't reach out to her and like, look, you're in this position where we can use you.
Okay.
So I definitely look forward to what they do with her down the line and seeing how it works. But yeah, the reveal, it was too easily.
It was on the nose.
Yeah.
And then this is my last bad that I have, and then we'll go into our grades and stuff. So I also wanted to say that I feel like we should have had a little bit more narrative focus on Isaiah Bradley because they gave him such a great introduction. I wouldn't even mind if we've gotten flashbacks of what he went through of him as a younger African-American soldier during that time. Just something to kind of give an idea of what he was seeing because I felt like we got an aftermath of it and we really didn't get enough about his experience. We heard him talk about it, but we didn't get to live it the same way he did. And we just kind of got what he said, which was cool. And they did give closure to him. And this is just a thing that I thought that they were going to do if the episodes were extended, because granted it was only 6 episodes. And then I also thought I wanted more episodes with John Walker, U.S. agent, from his personal POV point of view, since it was really mostly Falcon and Bucky heavy. And that's cool, but I felt like his introduction was so good, like with that second episode. I felt like we could have spent more time with him getting the other side of the soldier universe, you know what I'm saying? I felt like you could have had episodes where we could have just seen what John Walker was thinking, what was going through his mind, how does he get the job done? Let's see what it's like being a soldier from his point of view, not so much his pain and agony, but the same way Bucky and Sam were going on missions. I wanted to see more of that with him in Battlestar.
Well,
this is why I didn't want the partner to die, because I wanted that lethal weapon from their perspective too.
Yeah, I think,
and I thought the show kind of wrapped up a little too nicely, like they tried to put a bow tie on it.
Yeah. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't do this thing and not talk about Baron Zemo.
Okay.
Like, let's be honest, bruh. I like the fact that they brought him back. I just didn't like how easy it was. Because this is a guy who killed the Wakandan king.
Yeah.
Right? So he was in a prison that wasn't in Wakanda.
Right.
Right? You feel me?
Yeah.
Like you and that's what gets me, because his crimes didn't affect anyone but Wakandans.
Right.
Like, he went after the Avengers, and to start that off, he assassinated. He blew up the UN assembly and thus assassinated the Wakandan king. So why is it that he's in a prison in Russia or somewhere, wherever he was, like he should have been in Wakanda in lockup?
Yeah.
And
this is a man that was paid in full and had money.
Yeah, but see,
buy his way out of anything.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's gone.
Because
well, in the universe,
think about who took him.
Right.
Right. It's just like, that T'Challa took him.
Dora Milaje,
right?
Yeah.
So he should have been in Wakanda the whole time.
No, I get you. Yeah.
Just that
was an interesting twist, because actually we really don't know what got to that point, but that is kind of like a con or a flaw, if you will, because we didn't get that explanation.
Yeah.
We were thrown into a prison that we knew nothing about.
Yeah. So and
I give you that.
Another gripe I have is how they got rid of the Flag Smashers.
Okay.
The fighting is over. They're arresting the surviving Flag Smashers, and while they're in transit, their prisoner transport blows up. Who in their right mind doesn't check the prisoner transport? right?
Rookies.
These exactly, right? You have these guys. You have to check this thing. And furthermore, it's who did it. How did his old ass butler do that? Right? Think about it. Like it you so you snuck up there with your frail self and you planted a bomb on this truck and then you snuck back and were far enough away to where you can watch the transports go.
You
Like
never know, man.
and
He
how
could have
did you
had
know?
accomplices.
And how did you know where the transports were going to be in the first place? How did you know that they were going to find them alive? But and
Well, his job was kind of just to technically watch.
yeah, but
He was kind of an old patrolman.
yeah, it's just that's why I said it's a little gripe because it's like how did you know they were going to be there? Like I
Gotcha.
get it with Sam because we saw them figure it out. Like yo, this ain't over, right? But the butler, it's just like because I don't think Baron Zemo's getting phone calls in the raft,
No,
right?
no.
So like I don't think he's figured
He
this
has no
out.
technology.
So
It's glass
and
cell.
I really know that Dora Milaje ain't letting you call your butler.
Oh, no.
So how did you get in contact? If he figured it out, how did he get in contact with his butler in order to arrange this? And that's that's the small little the gripe I have because it doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Um,
Let's give our grades and then we can get into our theories, man. Let you go ahead. What's your grade overall of the show, man? What you give it?
excuse me.
What's your grade, bro?
My grade overall for this show B plus.
Okay.
Like I enjoyed the show. I thought to be honest, I thought the last episode it flew by me a little too quickly.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
I thought they could have stretched out the action a little more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I thought Carly was killed way too easily. But overall, I enjoyed the show. I loved seeing I love seeing the interaction with the characters. The so it's and my gripes aren't too heavy. My negatives about this show aren't too heavy. So I feel like it deserves that B plus.
Okay. All right, cool. Me on the other hand, I'm a little different on it. I give this show a straight up A plus. This was perfection for me. I think this show was for us per se. I think the way it was handled as far as the social issues, the political drama, the substance, the new characters that came into the MCU for the first time, the new blood characters stood out. They were strong. They were well written. Everybody had their motives, their motivations, their struggles, and they blended really well. And I love that there's this curve of going back to the style of Civil War and Winter Soldier. This show felt like Winter Soldier 2.0 to me.
Yeah.
I like this side of the MCU, and I like the grounded MCU, and I like the spy stories, and I like the characters that we were dealing with in the show. For me, this is the stuff that I want to see going forward in MCU, and this felt like an amazing, epic return for me. And my favorite new introduction of the series was Wyatt Russell. He was the standout for me, one of the highlights. And so yeah, A plus. And shout outs to the creators and writers, man. Malcolm Spellman really outdid himself on this, and I love the closure that he gave to us with the title changing just as much as our main character was changing. That was fire.
Yeah.
Because I was not expecting that.
Yeah, so definitely I
appreciate that.
I feel like this show definitely deserves a season 2, and I can't wait for Captain America 4.
Yeah, I love that surprise news announcement after the show ended, and I felt that was a smart way to do it due to the backlash. And, people were saying like, oh, he's a replacement coming in. But in that span time of 6 episodes, we got to earn those stripes, and we got to see those struggles. We got to understand the same way he had to understand and learn that there's more to this just being a shield. So now he can really fully take on that name respectively.
Because it's Captain America is not just a mantle, and it is not just a name. Captain America is a symbol.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to earn that status. You can't be given it. And I felt like Sam, by the end, he had not only accepted it, but he's on his way to earning it.
Okay.
Like he's Captain America now, but I feel like by the end of the movie, it's going to be no debate. Like this is like the people that are still on the fence, they're
It's
going to be
still,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's still going to be a
yeah,
conversation, which is a good thing because now you have people that may have not seen the show coming into the Captain America fourth installment. It's going to be a brand new conversation because it's like, all right, well, this isn't my Captain America, and everybody has their own personal connections of who their characters are and
hmm
who they kind of reflect and relate to. So it really isn't a right and wrong, and I love that this conversation is even happening. You know what I mean? Because it just opens the door
yeah,
for everything, new eyes, new identity, new viewers, and that comes from the strength of the great writing in this show.
yeah,
That conversation is even going down.
yeah. And you know what I'm looking forward to right now. I mentioned it earlier, but I have to mention it again.
So this is theories. We're going to jump
Yeah,
into our theories.
the exploration of the Weapon Plus program,
Okay.
right? Because at this point, we've only been introduced to two of them: Captain America, Weapon One, and Isaiah Bradley, who I believe is Weapon Six.
Right.
Right? There are there are a bunch of unknowns still around, and even in the comics, there are some that are unknown. So if they wanted to, they could say they can say, okay, we had um we had Thunderbolt Ross working on this one, and Hulk is Weapon 8.
Okay.
So they could do anything that they want, and I'm just really looking forward to that. And I think the fleshing out of this, I think that would be perfect for further stories as far as Captain America or Winter Soldier or Bucky is concerned,
Yeah.
or or even John Walker, U.S. Agent,
Yeah.
right? Because he's following Madam Hydra, not knowing it. So it I feel like that is definitely something that we're going to see more of, and I can't wait to see how they do it.
For sure. All right. So I'm gonna say my theory is well, my excitement prediction of what I think may happen. Uh, I like that they're setting up Young Avengers. From what I'm saying, I like that they're setting up the Thunderbolts, and I like the future films that are coming in or espionage, ground-based, political heavy, because now we see that the eyes and ears with Thunderbolt Ross's intel is doing bigger things. We're seeing supervillain teams start up. We're seeing super agent teams starting up. We're seeing a new Avengers team starting up. We're seeing Dark Avengers being set up. And like you said, with Madam Hydra and all that. And we even got to see a tease of one of our new Avengers hometown, Madripoor, Shang-Chi, in the show.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
right. I completely did. I
So it
completely
lets
overlooked
us
that.
know that a lot of crime and corruption was going on there. There was a lot of mythicism and magic and sorcery in that world too. But we saw the crime and the underworld side of it in this series, and I thought that was really cool. So we see that there's more than meets the eye to Madripoor. Like there's a lot of stuff that we don't know about, but we saw the crime side of it. We didn't see all the magical and fantasy elements of
Yeah,
it. And I just think that they're gonna open up new threats and new teams, and we're seeing it right in front of us because one of the main guys that's been in this phase, Thunderbolt, has been doing government programs with these super soldier beings, and he hasn't been able to perfect it
yeah,
properly. So each film and each phase, you're seeing him getting closer and closer to what he was trying to do from the get go.
yeah. So
And I like
yeah,
that. I like that tease. That's
because
epic.
from him we've already seen Hulk, and we've seen Abomination.
Right.
So what's next? Because you know it's something.
Yeah, and I also like that connection to John Walker being the first member being recruited because Madam Hydra was close to Thunderbolt, and I feel like he's going to be a part of that team, and this is
Well,
the beginning of that.
yeah. So
And I feel like we're going to see more Baron Zemo too. This is not the last of him because he was the one that put the team together, and also we got the Black Widow movie coming out, right,
yep,
which is in the past.
yep,
Who was the guy that had the one up on all the Avengers? It was Taskmaster,
yep.
and
So
he was the guy that trained
yeah.
the Thunderbolts.
So you know he's
There's a
coming.
reason
Yeah.
they're telling the story because now we're gonna see how he got to that point and how he got the jump on the Avengers.
So yeah, Black Widow. We're getting Taskmaster, and we're getting the next Black Widow, Yelena Belova.
Another Winter Soldier style movie.
Yeah.
I'm loving this.
Um.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the MCU as a whole goes, I don't know. I'm looking forward to it, but this right here is my swag, bro. This is
Okay.
what I'm
Yeah.
with. Once again, Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU movie.
Right there with you.
So this is I'm definitely looking forward to more of this. I say bring on season 2.
Yes, yes, sir.
And let's see what y'all got, man. Anything else you want to add?
Oh no, I was gonna wait for you, and I guess I'll close it out, man. That's our thoughts and that's our prediction on it, and that's our review on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm sorry, Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Yeah. So
All right.
basically, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about the episode or the series overall. And I'm Ronin Shogun, the Ninja Assassin,
It's your boy Chris.
and this is J3 Entertainment, and we're out.
Later.